This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there. Chef Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. And this is one for the books. He's still alive. He's 88 years old. But Raymond Berry is our birthday boy for February 27th. He was one of the best receivers in the 50s and 60s. He was called what they call the split end for the Baltimore Colts from 55 to 67. And after assistant coaching positions, he was named head coach of the New England Patriots in 1984. He guided the Patriots to their first Super Bowl appearance. People said Belichick led them to every Super Bowl, but no, Ray Berry was first. He coached them until 1989. With the Colts, Berry led the NFL in receptions and receiving yards 3 times, and receiving touchdowns twice, and 6 Pro Bowls. Raymond Berry participated in the greatest game around, the 1958 NFL Championship game, which was the first to be seen coast to coast on national TV. He caught 12 passes for 178 yards, and a touchdown. When he retired, he was the receptions and yardage leader, receivers. As a head coach, Berry led the Patriots to Super Bowl 20, of course, as we all know that. Berry was drafted in the 20th round of the 1954 NFL draft by the Colts and was a long shot to make the roster because he didn't really catch many passes in college. Diminutive and unassuming, his rise to the Pro Football Hall of Fame is one of the biggest Cinderella stories of all time in football. He didn't really have athleticism. He made up for it through rigorous practice and attention to detail. And basically, he could run a route perfectly and a sure-handedness. Basically, Berry Unitas were one of the best passer receiver things ever. Berry would be a receivers coach for Dallas, my friends from University of Arkansas, Detroit, Cleveland, and New England. The Pats made him head coach, and he had it for 5 years. 48 wins, 39 losses. Not bad. He was named to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1973 and was part of the 75th and 100th anniversary team for the NFL. His number 82 jersey is retired by the Colts. So he was in Paris, Texas, and came to SMU, Southern Methodist University. He was 6'2", 187. That's not bad by most people's things, but they think that he wasn't going to be that good. However, he pulled one out. In fact, his 12 catches would be the most in a championship game until Demetrius Thomas's 13 in Super Bowl 48 in 2014. Anyway, Berry led the NFL in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns many times. Well, first time was 1959, become the 4th player to hit the triple crown receiving. Most receptions, most receiving yards, and most receiving touchdowns. And his 14 receiving touchdowns was a single-season Colts record for 4 decades until Peyton Manning came along, helped out. Berry was fantastic and all that. Unfortunately, injuries caught up with him in 67 and decided to retire. He became a receivers coach for many teams and all that. After being fired as receivers coach in 1981, he left football and would be in real estate until the Pats fired Ron Meyer in the middle of the 84 season and wanted Raymond Berry to replace him. The Patriots finished that season 9-7. It's not that bad. However, the 85 season would be the best season of his whole things. The team improved further, going 11-5 and making the playoffs as a wild card team. And they were the first team in NFL history to advance the Super Bowl by winning 3 playoff games on the road. And a lot of people said, wait a minute, 1980 Oakland. Weren't they the first? Technically, no, because Oakland hosted the wild card game. But that was in the NFL format that 5 teams from each conference made the playoffs. So 2 teams that missed the top 2 teams that did did not win the division would meet each other and face each other off for a chance to go to the semifinals, if you will. So the Pats beat the Jets 26-14 in New York at, I think, Shea Stadium before the Jets moved to Giant Stadium. But anyway, it was only the second postseason win in franchise history for the Pats at that time. They went into LA Memorial Coliseum to beat the LA Raiders 27-20. And then they went to the Orange Bowl to take down Miami 31-14. It was amazing. It was the first time the Patriots had beaten the Dolphins at Miami's home state in the Orange Bowl since 1966, Miami's first season as an AFL franchise. The Pats had lost their 18 straight times, including a narrow loss in Week 15. The Pats were really heavy underdogs to the Bears. Sadly, though, the experts were right. They lost 46-10. The Pats did pretty good for themselves. The next season, they were 11-5, and they actually won the division. That 86 season would be the last time in 8 years that they would make the playoffs. It was weird how, well, the Patriots were 9-7 and 88, and Doug Flutie was 6-3 as a starter for the Pats, but Barry benched Flutie in the season finale against the Denver Broncos, and that bit them in the butt because the Patriots lost, and they could have won the game and gone to the playoffs. And Flutie decided to leave the NFL a few years later. Basically, after that 89 season, he got fired. Barry had several physical ailments and all that. And, Barry had to wear contact lenses when he played because he has terrible eyesight and all that. He was very soft-spoken and reserved and all that. But, Barry was, a decent coach for the team. They got to 2 playoffs. They had that wild run in 85. So anyway, 2-time NFL champion, 50 and 59, 6-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time receiving yards leader, like I said, 3-time reception leader, 2 times receiving touchdown leader, and, he's in the Baltimore Ravens Ring of Honor for some reason. But anyway, Raymond Berry is not to be messed with. He is one of the best wide receivers in history, and we got to all remember who he was. I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.